Brothers, sisters, let us speak at today's dusk, the twilight period where day passes into night. As it always must. So, this is goldstone, blue goldstone. Now, the little flecks suspended in this mineral, man-made mineral, are copper, and they're flecks that really glint in the sunlight, really catch the eye. Now, I'm going to be using this as both a talisman of protection and a draw for fairies to follow to me in my life. You know, I'm incredibly fortunate and I'm thankful for everything that I have in my life. The Divine Mother Kali Ma has given me the impression that I never will have to worry about money very much in this lifetime. And that most certainly has been the case. It's not that I don't work, I surely do. It's not that I don't go to school, college, which I most certainly do. And it's not that I don't put in work along my spiritual path, because I definitely do. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. But I was born with a fine sterling silver spoon by which I've been fed, metaphorically speaking. Not silver, but I've been incredibly fortunate. There are people who have been more fortunate than me, and I don't really desire to be rich. But I am thankful that I am someone who can follow his heart based on my situation, somebody who can follow his spiritual path based on my situation. I don't need to constantly worry about food, about where my next meal is going to come from. I don't need to worry about my society insulting and hanging or killing me because of my beliefs. And I was born with a fair amount of intelligence, which is itself a blessing, and a fair amount of ability to see things that others do not. It's not that others cannot see the beings or contact the beings that I have contacted and seen. It's just that I was born with a little bit more sensitivity than most people out there. And I'm thankful for that. It often feels like it alienates one, makes you feel alone. But it is within my means to reach out, and I happen to be born at a time when we have the internet, and I can reach out to you, and you can reach out to me. We should never discount the blessing of ease of communication, which our ancestors could only dream of. Our worlds are no longer as small as they were in the past. Our understanding, our knowledge is at an all-time high, at least for this cycle, for this yuga. We are ascending, and it's only going to get better for humanity as far as what humans start to realize, what they know, what they're able to do. You'll hear a lot of people say, we've been getting worse since this or that time. But I think humanity is doing quite well, and we're going to continue to do well and continue to reach new heights. It won't be easy. It will be dangerous, even difficult. But we will succeed. Speaking very vaguely, because really this is a message for everybody, not just somebody who believes or does what I do. I like to smudge myself with sage. It's a natural antibacterial, and its spiritual resonance really resonates with me. I love the stuff. I have a little bit of Native American ancestry. That could be it, but really I feel like my spirit itself is very much connected to the spirit of white sage and the spirit of mugwort. It's a remarkable feeling. I am blessed to happen upon much knowledge and have the means to gain more. Some people around the world are not so fortunate. But I thank the gods every day that I am. And I've chosen to do with my life and to provide for other people spiritually with the gifts that I've been given. I don't go about hoarding knowledge. I don't go about half-assing my spiritual path to get views, to get attention. I'm very honest. And I often say that I don't know everything, and here's the limit of my knowledge. There is a lot of dishonesty in the world, especially when it comes to spirituality and religion. It drives me crazy that these prosperity preachers get their congregations to give them ridiculous amounts of money, and then they assure us it will get you into heaven. But you need to ask yourself, is somebody who spends all of the money that you give them lavishly and on their own material property and not for the good of humanity, is that somebody who can guarantee you heaven or even help you get there through preaching? No, it's too easy to take some paths, too good to be true. Just give away all your material possessions and that's your clear ticket to heaven. You don't have to work on yourself, you don't have to improve, you don't have to go out and be kind to people yourself, you just need to donate money. That is terribly depressing that some people buy into that. And I really hope that as humanity starts to awaken more and more, these people will be seen for what they are. Not just charlatans, but what Christians would call false prophets. I also read, I read some of this article the other day that a Christian preacher said that everybody protesting Trump should commit suicide. How is that Christian? I believe the Bible is a very metaphysical book. But for him to say that, is he convincing himself? Is he convincing his congregation? Is he trying to make himself think something that deep down he knows is incorrect? That's why he goes to this extreme of telling people to commit suicide if they don't believe like he believes. I think it's pure ignorance and wanton ignorance, wanton hatred, wanton spreading of pain, I guess you could say. And it's all down to, well, we finally have a president that believes like we believe deep down, that is so focused on making money, like we value money so much. so focused on hating the people that they hate, so focused on destroying the environment that they don't care about either. Um, I think that they love him. Some people love him because he's willing to say all the things that they've always thought but are too scared to say themselves. It's not just about Trump. We've seen this happen time and time again. It's why some people loved Cicero, ancient Roman orator, around the time of Caesar and before. Some people hated Cicero and some people loved him. And the people who hated him, sometimes those people weren't good either, but some people saw that they hated him because they were jealous that he would say those things and he could say it just the right way, and they couldn't. They had no, if they were his adversaries, they just had nothing to fall back on but pure brute force. That might seem a little bit opposite of what I'm talking about, but it's not really, because the people that loved him often loved him for the exact same reason. He believed what like they believed, and he could say it with such force and such skill. That's the kind of preachers and presidents I'm talking about. And it's not that Trump is incredibly skillful. It's simply that he's really good at being the loudest voice in a room and using all the dirty tricks, willing to use all the dirty tricks. And it seems to work. It still confuses me. I didn't start this episode wanting to talk about politics or preachers or anything like that. But I like to examine the contrasts in this world and contrast to history and the nature of humanity. Why humans keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's one reason why I study history. Though I didn't know it at the time when I started really getting into history. Ancient history has always fascinated me because they accomplished all these things, and then all of a sudden, once the Roman Empire really fell, not the Eastern Byzantine, that was just a remnant for a very long time. Once we get to the Dark Ages, where a lot of knowledge was lost, a lot of people died, and what we had accomplished previously was no longer being accomplished, like aqueducts. There's always that danger of falling into new Dark Ages. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but a lot of what we see now is reminiscent of those times. But I think that enough people are starting to wake up and really see them for what they are, these people and these times, that this is the last dying breath for this cycle of that kind of ignorance, that kind of wanton ignorance. People are getting tired of, in our hyper technological age, the information age, technology is increasing so quickly. It shows us with uncomfortable amount of obviousness that material things and what society values, what a lot of people in society value, don't make us happy and aren't our potential and isn't pretty. You don't have to believe me in my beliefs. You don't have to be liberal. You don't have to be a Hindu who worships the old gods and the old gods of his ancestors and has a Hindu understanding and worships like a Hindu does, and Hindu deities. You don't have to be exactly who I am to try to appreciate a little bit about how everything is becoming very stark, yet we're moving forward. I think we're remarkable. I think human beings are remarkable, but we do have our bad side, and it's being shown for what it is, because now it's so easy to see what gets likes, what gets watched on the internet. It's so easy to see how most people are geared, or how a lot of people are geared, that we can't hide from it anymore. We are able to see things worldwide. But it's actually been a good thing, because now we're really starting to wonder, what are we doing? We're looking around the world, seeing how other people act. I think that we're really asking ourselves, what are we doing? What are we doing wrong? What did our ancestors have right? We don't have to embrace everything that they believed or did, but we can embrace the good. and we can combine all the different good practices, good ideas, good ways of the past, and combine them. Some people might call it appropriation. I suppose in my case with my ancient Northern European ancestors, it'd be appropriation of one's own past. And when you go far enough back, we're all related. That's not an area I'm prepared to dive into, though, because I am mostly a white male. I'm a fourth Mexican. There's not a lot of appropriation problems, a lot of abuse of, I guess you could say, our particular culture. America is one that robbed many cultures, came after other empires that it learned from. But now, with the information that's being released by accident or by, leaks or hackers, we're starting to see what empire is. And it ain't pretty. I don't think we should be just live in our own little villages and stuff like that. I think we should still be connected. But we really have to take more charge of our lives, fight against what we call capitalism and the materialization of the soul. Even communism did and does that. Drop that, and also drop some of the ways we think, furthering ourselves away from the materialization of capitalism and communism toward a unified idea that not one person's spiritual beliefs are right or wrong. We can all be right together. I feel this is a bit of a rant, so I apologize. And I know that some people that watch me don't like it when I talk about politics because they don't agree with me. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me politically. I guess the only thing that I can say to you is try to get in touch with who you truly are deep down. And don't worry about people liking who you truly are deep down or not. Because a lot of those people who won't like who you are truly deep down are people who are hiding from themselves. So I'm incredibly blessed. I feel like I've been working lifetime after lifetime towards the situation that I'm in this lifetime, and I appreciate all my other births, and I appreciate the situation that I'm in. Even if I did work for it and toward it in past lives, it's still a wonderful blessing to be able to live the kind of life that I do. It's not lavish or anything, but incredibly better than most people on the planet. And to have the ability and desire to seek truth. Because you can be blessed with desire. The best desire, which is the desire towards truth. I would love it if you would give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Just tell me, what you are thankful for, and perhaps some of the things you've had to go through in your life and some of the pains, because I always try to listen. I always try to get back to you in the comment section. I always try to read every single comment, even the trolls. If the trolls are too bad, I'll delete a comment here or there. But if it's not if somebody disagrees with me. If somebody is just being a dick for no reason and they don't really have a point. But yeah, I'd love for you to put comments down there in the comment section. Please check out my podcast with my co-host Ashley. Here's what it looks like. You can find it anywhere you find podcasts. It's on iTunes and Spotify and Anchor and Overcast. And it is Spirituality and Magic Podcast. Look for the fire pick. You might have to scroll down a bit because it's not very popular yet. But if you find it, please subscribe. Please if you give me 5 stars in a review, that would be amazing, because I'm trying to get more attention to the podcast. I'm trying to set up more collaborations. It's not just going to be me and Ashley. I want to do more collaborations in the future. And let's just get the ball rolling. Let's get the conversation going in whatever way we can. That's what I've always tried to do. So please find my podcast and subscribe and watch the episodes. Or listen. I get confused now because I've been on YouTube so long. Listen to the episodes. I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, I love you all, no matter what you believe, who you are, and no matter how much you disagree with me or agree with me. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.